Amie Crowsong, about the author. Ignore this silly picture. Amie Crowsong, March 23rd, 1995 through present, was born in St. Louis, Missouri, in the United States of America to a Catholic couple. She has one older brother and one younger, and grew up with many different pets. This led to a passion of hers, and she also found a thirst for knowledge at a young age. She began creating stories as young as 5 years old, and was introduced to word processing programs in 2003, when her first chapters were typed. Growing up, she often found difficulties that would later be revealed to be mental illness, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type. Writing became more than a hobby, it became what kept her alive in the darkest of times. She now writes with the intent of reaching out to others. She identifies herself as someone who is I read ahead. Caring, Catholic, a survivor, pansexual, and potentially non-binary still, but in the process of reviewing that label again, and above all else, a human who belongs here among the others who are part of our human race as well. She maintains a strong belief that the heart of all matters relating to humanity. Wait, did I read that right? Oh, that at the heart of all matters relating to humanity, we are all people with needs and backstories and so much more than any of us can understand for all others and usually have difficulty managing for ourselves. There is more to every story than one can know, but it is okay because, unless another is a danger to themselves or others, we can still be treated with kindness and love and respect, as it should be. The world can be so much lovelier if more of us do our part to put love out as opposed to hate. Who am I even quoting there? And then we have this. And yes, this is the old Amie Crowsong. I was coming out of my queer era, if you cannot tell, very far left, and you could say woke, and not thinking, and sort of a zombie to the cultural zeitgeist who was in control. And then I woke up, and I left Amie Crowsong. As far as I'm aware, by Amazon KDP terms, I deleted my my account and all that. Don't know what all is still out there. The book should not be for sale. The only exception is there is apparently a paperback copy of the Epics collection, which is for sale. My only guess is somebody who bought it, put it up for sale, which is fine. I'm not upset about it. I just don't like that there is a version out there like that. I've been tempted to buy it for myself just so that I have it and that it cannot be bought otherwise. But no, if one cannot tell, I've recently come back with intent of revamping and reviving the Author-sona, the author self, which pseudonym, Amie Crowsong, Amie stemming from the French feminine form for friend, Amie. Yes, I know there's copain, copine, ami, Amie. Yeah, Crowsong is just a fun name there. And I am currently rewriting would have been in the Epics collection as the second portion, which would be Shell and Thorn, which is originally book 2 after Shadow and Ash. And I believe I'm going to end up actually adding in past and present with this rewrite of Shell and Thorn, this new novelization, depending on how long it's going to be. I don't know if it'll actually reach novel length or be more novella or even just short story. That's to be determined. Because I've gone through a journey of self and finding myself, being reintroduced to myself and healing and reuniting with that person who for so very long was not exactly dead, perhaps in a state of something like suspended animation. And I'm still discovering exactly who she is and reintegrating her as myself, because that is me, and the actual me, and not the me who was deluded and lost and gone and letting others think and decide and be for me on my behalf. And my writing will reflect this, and I know I threw out the term, it's a modern culture war term, I guess you could say, woke or what have you. I don't want to necessarily use that scathingly in a sort of insulting type of sense, but it is a category these days, and it is one that I did belong to, and I guess you could say I belong to the oppositional side at this point. I don't see necessarily like that as a black and white, the friend-enemy distinction, you could say. um, but more as a matter of a lot of people have kind of, due to multiple aspects, um, with life as we were growing up, we've been led astray and we were manipulated and misled. We were honestly abused, emotionally abused, psychologically abused, some of us even physically abused. And I'm not speaking on a one-to-one individuals or even familial or, sort of social interactions. I'm speaking in terms of society, government, the state, etc. And this goes beyond just my country, but the modern West in general, and maybe even beyond that. Um, in which there were systems in place that were more than any one given person or any group of people necessarily, and it really messed things up for people in general. This will be reflected in my writings, and I think overall, culture, society, the world, people, humanity is healing. And that's a very good thing, obviously. And as I'm going through my own pieces with that, Shell and Thorn obviously is more inclined to the fun fiction, feral feline aspect of it, whereas Past and Present is more about a human character who's introduced in Shell and Thorn as a kid, and he becomes sort of a main character in Past and Present, and he goes through a lot of similar things that I went through, and that's part of why I think it will work out perfectly to tie his story into my rewrite here now, and starting Shell and Thorn, Past and Present, and then going out from there. And I have other pieces in the works as well. There will be a lot of things to be touched on, but first and foremost, I'm just looking to write fiction and have fun with it and make good stories, quality stories, proper storytelling. It's not gone or dead, but it's been hidden. It's been made inaccessible to the masses. It's very much out there. And for example, if you look at like fan fictions or places like what was it, AO3, LiveJournal, whatever, even Wattpad sometimes, like you will see amazing works of literary art. Like it's fantastic, but they're for free. They're online. Most people, and if we're talking about like everybody on whole, most people have no idea they exist. They wouldn't know where to access them. Like they can't even comprehend that there is a place with these sorts of things. They just see what comes out in media and they think, wow, this is it. This is terrible. Because most of, mainstream media is pretty terrible if you look at the Hollywood stuff or Netflix even, that kind of stuff. And there's a cultural societal shift going on, and that's important. But more than that, we need to get back to like people just being people. We need to be humans living our lives, having a lovely time as we do it, and telling amazing stories, because that's such a big part of being human, actually. There is this literary concept, personification. I don't remember necessarily if it counts as like a concept or would be a term, or if it is a tool or what exactly. It's been forever since I've been in proper English class. Over 10 years since I graduated from school. Like, give me a break. But, point is, personification, I would hazard to argue, goes beyond what we think of it as when we learn about it in schools and classes, etc. And it has something to do with the human heart and soul and mind, and maybe even the human condition in general. Maybe personification, in some sense, is the human condition. Perhaps I'll delve into that deeper eventually one day, but all that I'm trying to get at here is in reviving my author self, Amie Crowsong, and rewriting old stuff and coming out with new stuff as well, and I have plenty of content planned outside of those things also. This is a fresh start. I've been through a lot that plenty of other people have also been through, or that know people who have been through. And sure, no two stories are going to be exactly the same, whether this is, people's real life experiences, the lives they're living, or whether it's fiction, but there's plenty to share and relate to and bond over. And we need to do that, and it's a very human thing to do, I think, to engage in such a way with each other and to come together over these things, even when we can't quite comprehend, even when we have no real idea or basis, or if we can't really understand, but like just hearing and being open to these things can, help us see other people as well as people. So that's where this is going, and that's part of why I'm back. I'll have to see if I can get back into this KDP, Amazon KDP author account stuff, if I can revise my author bio, which is, ooh, it reeks of the zeitgeist I was caught up in. Um, but I'll have to get a better picture too. Not the worst photo of me, actually, but could do a lot better at this point. Here's hoping all keeps going well and keeps improving, and tides are changing, fresh winds are blowing. I think dark is breaking and dawn is giving way. And I think I'm gonna be someone who's here for it. So yeah, anyone who's interested, tagging along, feel free. I'm putting this up on YouTube. Subscribe if you want. I'll probably make an author account on Twitter as well, maybe Instagram eventually. I don't know. As well as just keeping my regular accounts and whatever. But yes, Amie Crowsong is back and she's different now. And although she isn't who she was because she wasn't herself for that initial period, she's not necessarily sorry for what she said then and who she was then. Yes, it's regrettable. It can't be undone, but gotta learn and grow, do better, and ultimately be better, because we can all have better lives if we just put ourselves to it and allow it to happen and be. So here's hoping. Gonna make some changes and maybe even lead the way a little bit. Well, thank you all, and all the best. Till next time.